Well, apparently streaming to Facebook isn't available. Reload. Okay. I think we're going okay. Looks like we're recording. Okay. We are. No, look. I've got a bit of a different hairdo because I was playing with my hair this afternoon. New glasses. Literally into the age of reading glasses now. I also look a bit funny because I've actually got blue light blockers on these. So yeah, if you're watching me live, feel free to let me know, what do you think about this new look? I'm having fun. It's, Sunday night. Tomorrow's a long King's birthday, so a bit of a long weekend situation. Just doing something a bit different. Okay, well, I'm also recording a podcast today. So let's do it. Let's do it. But if you are watching me live on any of the platforms, please say hello. Please say hello. It can be a little bit lonely sometimes here talking all by myself. Well, you're lucky because I'm not in my PJ today. I've got a hoodie on because it's cold. All right, here we go. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this episode of the Womanly Way podcast. I am your host, Lala Angela Wang, coming to you live here in Sydney, Australia on the first, it's not even the first week now, probably I would say, second week of winter. So winter has truly hit. But also, I actually really love winter. It's just one of those seasons that we can snag in, listen to podcasts. I used to snag in and watch TV a lot, but ever since becoming a mum, for me, like, you know what I love? Like a quiet morning, sipping tea, sitting on my couch and just listening to a podcast. I've been traveling a lot this month. Well, yeah, just the last few weeks. So I've been actually listening to a lot more podcasts just in the last fortnight. And I've been listening to this one that was recommended by someone else. I can't remember the name of it now. I think it's Connecting the Dot. Um, it's done by one of the CEOs in Great Britain, but I know she's about to come over and become um, CEO of St. George Housing because one of her new colleagues has recommended her podcast to me. Oh, I'm so bad with names. I can't actually remember her name. So I will post it in the show notes below so you guys can also check out her podcast. She's amazing. I love the topics that she's talking about. So connecting the dot or connect the dot is essentially a podcast series where the CEO interviewed all of her close network, what she calls her inner circle, and has really made me think about, my own inner circle, but also in terms of, the mentors I've been with and mentoring others as well. If you've been listening to this podcast, you would know that one of my very first mentor in the construction industry passed away roughly about a month ago. And ever since then, like I've really reflected back on all of my mentoring relationships and how it has helped me. But they also became a motivator for me to essentially restarting or offering mentoring services again. And I guess in one of the posts that I did this week, I talked about how the reason that I have kind of pulled away from industry specific mentoring and also from volunteering in terms of being a mentor. Because what I'm finding is, and I truly believe mentoring is one of those things, no pain, no gain, right? Quite often people sign up to mentoring because it's offered by industry bodies and there's company support. There's actually no personal investment in those relationships. And don't get me wrong, I've had amazing mentees who will come and they actually got great results because they show up throughout the whole duration. But I've also had mentees that essentially during the first session, they would say, well, I just want a connection. I just want somebody to talk to. Kudos to them for being honest, because once you set the scene, once how you start is how you finish, or how you finish is how you start, depending on how, people look at it. Essentially, how they finish is how they started. How they started is exactly how they finish. So every session becomes just a chit-chatting session. There's no focus, there's no direction, there's no real intention in those sessions. I've also had mentees essentially come to me and go, oh, I've got a commitment issue, meaning I have a tendency to drop out of mentoring relationships halfway through the mentoring thing. And again, how they start is how they finish. And, kudos for being honest once again. And that relationship lasted 3 sessions. And then my mentee went missing in action, right? So because of those experiences, I'm starting to think, this is a couple of years ago, I started to think, well, what's the point? What's the point in putting my heart and soul out there and, with a desire to help somebody and improve their lives, improve their career, when all I get is MIA, or all I get is little chit chats where I could I'd rather spend time with my friends and having chit chats than spending time with my mentees having chit chat. And that is me being perfectly honest, because I am choosing to sacrifice my social time to mentor somebody. And I think it's actually really disrespectful in a way of someone's time to, you know, to really only wanted to have chit chat. If you want to do that, go to a networking event, right? So essentially, that has really put me off volunteering for mentoring. And ever since becoming a mum, really, quite frankly, I just don't have the time to do it. But since my mentor passed away, and then also listening to this podcast about, surrounding influences in our inner circles, I've really rethink the way that I run mentoring programs. I still want to make sure that there is a fair exchange, meaning not so much a monetary exchange, but more so a energetic exchange. So that has really got me rethinking about mentoring. But more importantly, a question that I continue to ask myself is why? I have spent a lot of money investing in myself over the years, investing in mentors. And I ask myself, like, why would I continue to do that? Why would I continue to run those relationships? And I think the biggest reason that I do that is because of proximity. Meaning, we talk about we are the average of the 5 people that we hang around the most. And sometimes our friends are great friends, but they may not be the greatest support that we needed. They may not be the kind of people that can actually elevate us to the next level in whether it's, your life, your health, um, or your career or your business, because that's not the environment that they have been in. So I realized that probably about a few years into my career that in order to progress, in order to do something different that allows me to grow and expand, I needed to be in close proximity with the people that's done it, with the people that could have the point of view that I desire to have, um, or with the mindset that I needed to have. So essentially, for me, I look at where I want to be and I hang out with the people that has what I have, if that makes sense. They might have the mindset that sorry, let me rephrase that. So I look at what I need in order to get to the next level. I look at and I ask myself, who do I need to be? Who do I need to become in order to step into this next version of me? And then I go and look for people who's done it, who has already got what I wanted or what I needed to become, and I go and hang out with them. And sometimes it might be mentors, sometimes it might be, my inner circle, sometimes it might be people that I hang out with or connect with. It doesn't really matter. But the intention is to elevate my average, in order to get to where I need to get to. So a lot of times I look at my mentors as people who are a couple of steps ahead of me and who essentially has what I want, basically. Now, the other way that you could elevate your the 5 people that you hang out with the most is through connections, um or some people call inner circles, or oh my god, my mind is not working right now. What's the word that I'm looking for? Mastermind. That's the word I was looking for. And often you will get coaches that also offer mastermind. um i'm fi- I'm finding those quite helpful. But looking back, I think the things that has helped me the most, right, is really I've got a long pause here because I really want to make this almost like, would you call it debunking? Demystifying mentoring and demystifying mentorship. People often think that, you need a mentor that is like a CEO or, like right out there. But what I really think is important in terms of looking for a mentor is whether there's somebody that will push you outside of your comfort zone. Because if I really think about all of the mentors that I have had over the years, these are people that has really pushed me. Like my very first mentor, oh my goodness, he has pushed me beyond and beyond. Right, he's one of those old school builders, and like when I first came out of uni and started working for the first builder that I ever worked for, um, like I didn't know anything. I can't even write a meeting minute, right? And I still remember our very first encounter was when I forwarded my first meeting minute to him. And he basically said, well, who wrote this set of meeting minutes? Because these are like absolutely useless and shit, just all the builders terms that you can think of, all the swear words. I can't remember. I don't think he swore all that much, but he basically said that these minutes are shit. That's just what he said. And throughout I was very fortunate. He then became my direct manager. And I just remember vividly, every now and then he would say, Angela. He doesn't call me Ange. He doesn't obviously doesn't call me Lala. He would say, Angela, I've got a bone to pick with you. And he would really directly tell me what he's not happy with me. And we can talk about it. We'll work around it and we'll work through it. I wouldn't be where I am today without him, because he not only taught me all the technical side of things, he has also taught me a lot in terms of soft skills, management skills, and how to win the heart of people. I hope you guys don't hear. There's like a really weird background noise, like a very sick car that's needed to go to repairs. I hope you guys can't hear that because it's annoying. Um, and I completely lost my train of thought. Yes, it was my first mentor. And really, he was more than just a mentor. He was not only a mentor, but only a sponsor and an advocate for me. Um, I wouldn't have got my second job without him. Essentially, I went to the interview. The person who interviewed me saw my reference, and he's like, "Well, I used to work with your mentor, and if you have personally been like taught and groomed by him, you'll be fine." And that was how I got my second job, basically. Like they didn't actually check my reference. They looked at the person who has mentored me and they go, "Yep, you'll be fine." So a lot of people will be like, well, so how do you actually find mentors? Do you go to somebody and go, well, can you be my mentor? I've done it too, by the way. And the answer is no. I think the answer is, if you can find somebody in your workplace, in your immediate environment, that could be a mentor, hang out with them more. And if you can't, and if you look at the 5 people that you hang around with and you think, well, then, not to be snobbish or anything, obviously, that's what I really want to emphasize. And that's why you find me kind of pull back sometimes, because I think at the moment that you say assess your surrounding influences in the 5 people that you hang out the most, what the immediate reaction from a lot of people is, how dare you? How dare you judge your friends like this? And how dare you, judge people like that? But I think what we all need to understand is, if you have a dream, you have a vision, and if you genuinely has a mission and a purpose to be better and help other people, then you need to be better, right? And it's really about how can we become better people, so then we can help others as well. So it's not selfish, it's not snobbish if you do it in a way that is compassionate, and that is with a positive and a impactful vision. Then there's nothing snobbish about it. And the key is that we all have limited time. You know, time is really our most precious commodity. We all have limited time. We all have limited energy. We all have limited resources. And in order to be successful, we really need to look at how we utilize our resources and how we best utilize them. So if, being successful and being impactful is what you're looking for, and I truly think you need to start with assessing your environment. So you look at your direct environment and you go, well, who around me can help me continuously improve and elevate and grow? And if you don't have those people, you go, okay, who do I want to become? And let me go and find those people who is already living some sort of a vision or in some sort of alignment towards who I want to become. Because that, by hanging around with those people, that is really going to help you, one, being in the same vibrational frequency, and two, be in the same mindset. Which also brings me to this next point, is that even if what you're looking to do is to grow your career, you still don't need to look for mentors that's in the same industry, right? Like my mentor Donna, for example, she's been my spiritual mentor for a very long time. Um, I think 2019 or even 2017, I think. And she's one of the longest standing mentor that I've been with. But what she has helped me is beyond just spirituality, right? She has got a background in corporate, so she understands corporate, but she also understands human behaviors, mindset and psyches. So what she has been able to help me with is beyond just spirituality. She's helped me with my career, with my business, with my general dealing with people, and essentially helped me become a better person, right? And this is the thing about mentorship. Good mentors don't just help you with one aspect, but we also need more than one mentor because there are different aspects that we're working on. And really, at the end of the day, having different mentors and hanging out with them, but also hanging out with their community and, like other people that they're mentoring, is essentially elevating your surrounding influences. Even with me, with my affiliate marketing, my uplines are my mentors. With my work, my boss is actually my mentor. Um, but there are also other people that I stay in touch with on a daily basis. I may not call them mentors, But just by me hanging out with them, having conversations with them, I'm being mentored, right? It's, I really much prefer to call all of them my brain's trust, because when I catch up with people, often we talk about, obviously in work context, we'll talk about business, but outside of work, I have a close group of friends who I catch up with. We talk about different aspects of life. We kind of, the way that I see it is, it's like clapping, right? Two people, it's like you can't just clap with one hand. Obviously, it doesn't work. But when you clap with two hands, you make a sound, and that creates a vibration, it creates a frequency. So we can get two people bouncing ideas off each other, that often create an elevated vibration and frequency. And it's, exactly why we call it a sounding board, because you're able to bounce ideas and bounce, you know, visions, questions, and it becomes kind of like a conversation that's formed by questions. And I love those conversations because it allows you to think, and it allows you to question yourself. But through questions, you kind of build up this momentum towards clarity, if that makes sense. I know it sounds a bit all over the place with this episode, but I guess if I have to sum it up, right, it's everybody needs to have mentors. Not even one, not just one. Everybody needs to have mentors, but mentors can come in different forms. And to me, instead of calling people mentors, I prefer to call them, either my mastermind or my inner circle, or my counsels, my brain's trust. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I would prefer to call them my brain's trust. And it's a feeling that I can't quite describe. But when you're with your brain's trust, it's like brainwaves meets brainwaves, and ideas meets ideas, and everybody just keep bouncing ideas off one another. It's like, when you're in the middle of a thunderstorm, you have the sound, you have the light, it's just like a brilliant show. That's what happens in my brain whenever I get together with my brain's trust. Like ideas just sparks, and oh, it's the most amazing feeling. And I think that's how you activate your brain. And really, the purpose of having mentors and having brain's trust, having your inner circle, is to continue to activate your brain, so then you continually stay on this path of growth and evolution. You see how excited I get when I talk about these things? And so I don't believe you need to have, not all of your mentors are like a formal agreement, but I truly believe that you need a combination of, your inner circle in brain's trust, but also mentors that their purpose is literally to guide you to the next level in whichever area of life that you're working on. It's like having a fitness coach, for example, because then you have accountability. You also have, you want to make sure that there is a component of something to lose. Like, meaning if you don't do this, it's either a waste of money, or it's a waste of time, or there has to be a component of, yeah, essentially, exchange, because this is how human behavior, right? Our brain is wired to take on the path of least resistance. So if there's no pain, no gain, then we have a tendency to get lazy and not commit to it as much. And this is why, coming back to full circle, this is why now when I'm offering mentoring services, which I am, um, more details in the show note, even though I am making them affordable for people, there is still a monetary investment because you need to be invested. That's the word I've been looking for, because you need to be invested. If we're not, if there's nothing to lose and everything is free, what you'll find is there's less commitment because you're not invested. So the investment is more to do with the psychology, right? And it's like, if I have to catch up with my mentor, knowing the sessions are paid and I don't get a refund, then I'm going to show up. But if it's just a casual catch up, how often do you cancel because life gets hard? How often do you cancel because you're tired? You're very likely to bail and you're very likely to cancel. But the final point is, doesn't matter what you do. I think everybody needs to have at least one mentor, if not multiple. Everybody need to look at our surrounding influences, continue to make sure that we're elevating the 5 people that we hang out the most, or the people that we hang out around the most. And pick the right inner circle, pick our inner circles wisely, and make sure that if you have got a good vision, if you have got a big vision, and if you got a purpose, and you have got big goals and big visions that you want to achieve in this lifetime, then you need to continually to work on your surrounding influences, your inner circles, and your mentors, to make sure that you are elevating because of the people that are around you, and making sure that the people around you are the ones that are going to elevate you. And this is going to be sounding so cruel, right? So one of the biggest things that I have been working on over the years throughout my journey is to let go of people. And this is the hardest truth, and this is the bit for me is the hardest. Like, I feel like I'm saying goodbye a lot because I'm continually growing, and sometimes it's really not on purpose. Sometimes I don't even need to say goodbye to people. People will naturally fall away because our priorities change, because our visions in life change, because our goals change. And that is okay. That really is okay. While listening to the podcast and talking to a lot of people, there is this saying that it gets very lonely at the top. And sometimes it does. But I think it's made easier by our choices of people that we hang out with. And that's why I'm so careful with the people that I hang out with these days. Number one, I don't have the energy to deal with negativity. I just don't. There's enough that I have to deal with on a daily basis, just with my job and with the kind of people that I have to deal with at work. I really physically, mentally, spiritually don't have the capacity, right? So for me, what really lights me up is actually talking about business, actually talking about improvement, actually talking about how we can make things better. So I choose to hang out with people that has the same views. They may not have exactly the same view. Like me and my best friend, we don't always have the same views, but our end goals are the same, to make the world a better place, to make other people's lives better, and to continually evolve and grow as individuals. So I choose to hang out with people like that because I know that when I'm down, they're going to tell me the truth, but also through my conversations with them, I'm going to feel more elevated, invigorated, and my brain waves are going to start firing off, and that's going to make me feel alive. And I think it's very important to talk about this, right? When I say in my inner circle and mastermind and hang out with people that I love, it doesn't mean that they always agree with what I say. It doesn't mean they always tell me that I'm the best. In fact, that's not what I look for. I look for people who challenges me, look for people who elevates me in my thinking, right? So there's nothing worse than a conversation where everybody's in agreement with you. I'd rather have a discussion, not so much a debate, but a discussion where we're exchanging point of views and then reaching a conclusion as to, how we move forward, than having everybody agreeing with me. Because let's face it, life is so boring when you're right all the time. There's nothing worse. You become stagnant, you're not growing, you're not being challenged, which means your brain waves are not firing, you're staying stagnant. What's the point? What's the point? So if you are looking for your inner circle, if you are looking for a mentor right now, I think the most important thing is to make sure that these people elevate you, challenges you, allow you to grow and push you outside of your comfort zone. Do the things that you may not think that you're ready, but essentially they say you go. Close your eyes and fall, and we'll build the wings with you along the way. So you have to trust them. I think that's the most important thing. You have to make sure that there's a genuine connection there, that you can actually, these are people that you believe are trustworthy, that you can trust them with your deepest secrets, and that you feel right with them. Or as if you're my boss, you'll be like, they smell right, right? Not everybody is for everybody. And that's the same with mentoring. Not everybody is right for you, and you're not right for everybody. So, yes, everybody needs a mentor, everybody needs an inner circle, and your job is to, number one, know what it is that you want to become, and two, to go and find your own tribe that you can hang out with that could give you all those things that we spoke about today. And of course, if you feel aligned with me and you feel like, that you and I can sit down and have all those geeky brain activations together, then feel free to reach out, because I'm currently running a small group mentoring, one-on-one mentoring, but we also get a mastermind component in there as well, for a small and affordable amount for a very limited time. There's only 5 spots, and if you feel like you want to apply for those 5 spots, there's also an additional scholarship where you get to hang out with me for 9 months for free. Um, so there's 6 spots in total. Um, all through an application process. So if you would like to be one of those special people that to hang out with me, hit the application link below, put in your application, and let's have a chat. But if you feel like I'm not your tribe, that's fine as well. I don't get offended. But please go. Please go and make sure that you go and find yourself your tribe and your mentor, because you know, if you're looking for growth in any areas of life, I think that's fundamental, that's important. As you know, we are all tribal animals. And I truly believe part of our job on this planet in this lifetime is to find and build our own tribe. Especially if you feel like, there's no one in your life currently that understands you, you don't feel like you belong anywhere, then my suggestion would be to work on yourself first, know what you want, and then go and find the tribe or build your own tribe that has the same drive, the same vision, the same goals as you, so you can start creating that life where you are supported by your community. So that's all of the message I have for you guys today on this beautiful Sunday night. I don't know. I might record another podcast today, tomorrow, or early this week, because I got a few channels that came through, and one of it is about how do we support empath kids, which I was going to talk about it tonight, but then this channel came through. So yeah, keep watching the space. I might see you guys in the next couple of days. And if you're listening to the podcast, thank you. And I will see you next time. Bye.